Relationships are one of the biggest sources of stress and satisfaction most adults deal with. And yet almost nobody talks openly about what's actually normal. Today I'm walking through what research says most adult couples experience, so you can stop wondering if you're weird, and start focusing on what actually matters: communication and health. Hey, I'm Emila, and I talk about relationship wellness and sexual health education here every week. Not as a clinician, but because I dig into the actual research so you don't have to. If you're new, subscribe. We cover this stuff without judgment and without the awkwardness. Drop your city in the comments. I like seeing where this community is watching from. Here's the thing I want you to walk away with before we even get into the list. There is no single normal. What works for one couple looks nothing like what works for another, and that's fine. The point of today's video isn't to rank what's right. It's to show you the range of what research says is common, so you can stop measuring yourself against a standard that doesn't exist. The numbers I'm citing today come from the National Survey of Sexual Health and Behavior, a large peer-reviewed study run by Indiana University's Center for Sexual Health Promotion, published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine. It's one of the most comprehensive studies on this topic ever done in the US, covering thousands of adults from ages 14 to 94. I'll link their actual key findings page in the description so you can read it yourself. I'd rather you fact-check me than just trust me. I'm not here to shock you or make anything sound taboo. I'm here to give you real information, plus a few practical safety-first tips along the way. Let's get into it. What research says, why it happens biologically, the emotional layer, the practical/safety takeaway. 1. Regular partnered intimacy. NSSHB data found real variability here. Researchers reported that men and women rarely engage in just one single act during a typical encounter, with more than 40 different combinations of activity described at adults' most recent sexual event. Biologically, it's tied to bonding hormones like oxytocin. Emotionally, it's about trust and vulnerability. Practical tip: novelty, not frequency, is usually what keeps long-term couples satisfied. Try changing routine, setting, or timing rather than chasing more of the same thing. 2. Solo wellness practices, widely reported across all age groups and both sexes. Biologically linked to stress regulation and hormonal balance. Emotionally, it's a private form of self-awareness. Practical takeaway: it's healthy and normal on its own. It only becomes worth examining if it starts replacing connection you actually want with a partner. 3. Open communication about preferences. This is where the research makes a strong case for talking more, not less. NSSHB data found a real reporting gap between partners. About 85% of men said their partner had an orgasm at their most recent encounter, compared to only 64% of women who reported the same for themselves. That gap alone suggests a lot of couples are making assumptions instead of asking. Emotionally, direct conversation builds trust. Practically, it's the single cheapest, lowest-risk upgrade any couple can make. A 5-minute conversation costs nothing. 4. Media and content consumption. A large share of adults report occasional consumption of adult content. Biologically, moderate use doesn't appear harmful for most people. Heavy, habitual use has been linked in some research to shifted expectations and reduced satisfaction with real-life intimacy. Practical takeaway: treat it like anything else, moderation, and check in with yourself if it's affecting how you feel about your actual relationship. 5. Effort and presentation for a partner. Many people, across genders, report making an effort with clothing, grooming, or setting to signal effort to a partner. Biologically, this taps into anticipation and reward pathways. Practically, small, low-cost gestures, a new setting, and unexpected effort reliably outperform big, rare gestures for long-term satisfaction. 6. Digital intimacy, texting, calls, messages. Common among couples, especially long-distance or busy schedules. Emotionally, it maintains connection between in-person time. Practical/safety note: anything sent digitally can be forwarded, leaked, or resurface later. This is true for anyone, at any age, in any relationship. If you choose to engage in this, treat every message as something that could someday be seen by someone else. 7. Shared reading or audio content. A notable share of adults use books, audio, or stories as a shared or individual way to explore fantasy safely. Biologically, arousal is as much cognitive as physical. Practical takeaway. This is a low-risk way for couples to open a conversation about fantasies they haven't voiced yet. 8. Trying new settings within a relationship. Some couples report seeking novelty of location or setting as part of their intimate life. Biologically, mild adrenaline and excitement share pathways with attraction and arousal. Practical/legal note. Know your local laws. Public indecency laws vary and carry real legal consequences, so novelty should stay private and legal. 9. Exploring less discussed activities with a partner. Research consistently shows a meaningful share of adults have explored activities outside the traditional, default, more than most people assume. The common thread in the data isn't the specific activity, it's that couples who do this successfully do three things. They research it together first, they communicate boundaries clearly, and they prioritize comfort over performance. 10. Consensual role play or power dynamics. A meaningful minority of couples report incorporating playful dynamics into their intimate life. Biologically, mild sensation and novelty both engage overlapping reward pathways. Practically, this only works with clear consent, a safe word, and an aftercare check-in. Without those three things, it's not something I'd recommend. So here's what I want you to leave with. No matter which of these applies to you, talk to your partner directly. Curiosity and honesty build more trust than guessing ever will. Prioritize safety, physical, digital, and emotional. Protect yourself the same way you'd protect any other part of your health. Go slow. You don't need to try everything on a list like this. Most couples find one or two things that genuinely work for them, and that's enough. If this was helpful, subscribe for more no-judgment health content, and drop a comment with what topic you want covered next.